All right, Dan.
Hey,
Thank you
hey.
for jumping on today. Hello, hello. Thanks for being part
Thank
of
you,
this. Yes,
Dan. It's two Dans
Dan.
coming together.
Dan to Dan. Okay, so I know when I think of your name, I think of Speaker Slam. So I would love for you to tell me a bit about it and what you're working on and what's exciting you right now.
Oh man, there's just so much. For those of you who don't know what Speaker Slam is, it's a inspirational speaking competition right here in Toronto, and we've grown in the last 3 years to become Canada's largest inspirational speaking competition. And what it is 10 speakers going head to head and heart to heart to inspire the audience. It's 4 to 6 minute speeches, and their whole goal is to share personal stories that are either overcoming adversity, shame, or heartfelt stories that are just make your heart go warm. And so these speeches are so powerful that a lot of our partners online pick them up and make them go viral. And so we've garnered over 300 million views already online in the last year. And it's all happening in the backyard of Toronto.
Cool. And how did you get into this? Like, what led you to Speaker Slam?
Oh man, it's a bit of a arduous journey. There's the journey of like finding more meaning in my life, but like really it was more I don't know if you've ever heard of Landmark.
Yep.
And so they have one of these things called self-expression leadership programs. And before that, I've never thought of myself as an entrepreneur, but doing that program, they kind of basically want you to build something in the communities that you're involved in. So I was involved in stand-up at the time, and I was involved in Toastmasters. And I reached out to a couple of people to work on a project. I wanted to do something in communication, and a lot of people, they were either too busy, they had their fringe project, or they just didn't meet the deadlines that's required for it. But the only person that I reached out to that I was a little nervous was my business partner. She's a little older than me. She had a successful business before, but she was now in her 9 to 5. She was down on her luck. So I came in at the right time, and I was like, let's do this community project. And it was just a debate workshop for a Toastmasters group. But what happened there was a friendship that came out of it. And so we ended up liking what we did, and we're like, let's not do a communication workshop because we're only going to get 12 people in a room. What can we do in the speaking community and make a difference? And so we looked around, we went to other speaking events, and we saw that a lot of them were a little boring. They were too corporate. They were a little too stuffy, and no one was really talking about stuff that mattered. It was all shallow. Everyone was trying to look good. And thus it started. I remember saying, why don't we do a speaking competition? And then Rena, her eyes lit up and said, Speaker Slam. And that's how we were born.
Cool. And did you ever think like that this could be a business? Like, did you like, there's not, I don't know like a lot of stuff that you could compare this to, you know what I mean? I guess, I don't know, maybe there are in other countries or other models, but like, did you ever think that you could make a business and a living out of this?
Honestly, when we started this, I thought this was a one and done type of thing.
Right.
Maybe it would be a yearly thing. But when we pulled it off, my business partner was like, all right, let's do another one in November. And I was like, what? Like November? Like we did all this work. Like, why are we doing, let's celebrate. Let's just get out.
Yeah. Move on.
But then what she said to me that has stuck to me, we already did it. We have the systems and processes already done. The website's up, everything's done. So it's just, you have the templates already there.
Yes.
The work involved, it was just in the initial part. And then the rest is just kind of keeping it going and building a community.
Keep it spinning.
And so when we started doing it monthly, it was still a hobby until I started realizing about a year in, like the people kept coming. We went venue to venue. We first started off getting 100 people at our event, which was great for a first event. And then we kept it going, and then we switched to bigger venues. And it got to a point where, like at Lula Lounge, we were bringing in 200 people a month, which is ridiculous for a monthly event. People were really liking it. And it started becoming a reality, and my business partner started planting the seeds of like having an office together and like doing this like as a full time. And so about a year ago, I guess 2 years ago, we made that leap and jumped.
Amazing. I love that. And for anyone listening, what are some components that make a successful speech? That if someone's looking to improve their skills or their technique, like what's something that you see over and over that's like really makes it
Oh
work?
yeah. Um, so one thing about Speaker Slam, we're kind of really doubling down on inspirational speaking, and that's a new category that we're really making on its own. And that's always starting with the story and keeping it all about the story. It's not educating, it's not teaching, it's just you sharing your story with a message. And so we have a format. It goes hook, and the hook is really you get right into the story with a line, or in the first introduction at least, that grips people.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some speakers with like powerful lines that start off that make you just go, I gotta listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
An example would be, rape was my first sexual experience. That is
Whoa.
such a wow, jarring. It really like you got to hear more. I was too ugly to play Dorothy in my school play. Like those are some jarring titles. Obviously, it doesn't have to be as vulnerable or as powerful, but what we say is those are the hooks that will make people want to watch. In a world crowded with content, you want to stand out quickly with a hook. And then you go into your story, and that story is it's not an autobiography. You go into telling one particular story with details that really invoke emotion. So you're in your emotions rather than telling a story from like an intellectual point of view.
Yes.
You're in it. You're in the moment. So people in the crowd are just emotionally connected to you. And then we go into the message, and the message is the biggest thing. Because a lot of people think it's all about the story. It's actually the message. Your message is the vehicle to your story, and that in itself is very powerful. If you look around on social media, the people that are doing really well, they all have a message and they're consistent with their branding.
Mm-hmm.
So their messages start hitting you home. And so once you figure that out, and there's the bonus tip of the anthem, and my business partner really coined this, it's what makes you share something. What makes you go like, this speech right here resonates with me. I am going to share it. And that's really the anthem
Yes.
in its speaking.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And before we wrap up here, what would you say you most need help with right now?
Man, what I need help most with is media. Like I want to be able to get Speaker Slam on Speaker Slam and their speakers. We have so many speakers that have incredible stories. So if they're like right now, there's a guy named Mike Shorman, and it's facial paralysis week, and he's been able to leverage his speech and take it on breakfast television, global news, and all of these things are possible because this video that went viral allowed him to leverage and get that media attention. We can do that with all of our speakers.
Right.
And if there was a way for media companies to see and recognize that, hey, all of these people have these amazing stories and we should be shining a light on them, that would be nice. So
Cool.
that's what
Cool. Thank you very much, Dan. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
no, thank you so much, Dan,
Cool.
for having me. And I admire your persistence.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this. And where can people find you and the Speaker Slam online?
They can check out speakerslam.ca, follow us at speakerslam. All of these things are a great way to connect with us.
Cool. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
No problem,
Take
bud.
care.